This is James Mathers for the Digital Cinema Society at NAB 2024. I'm here with Jason Druss, and we're in the Adobe booth. Adobe has some really exciting news about generative AI. Can you tell us about that?
Yes, absolutely, James, and thank you so much for hanging out and spending some time with us. So before we get into Gen AI for Premiere Pro, let's recap over Firefly. Firefly is Adobe's family of generative AI models, and they are the world's most popular commercially safe Gen AI models. In just over a year since Firefly's inception, we've generated over 6.5 billion images, right? And we have an image model, a vector model, and a 3D model. So when we're thinking about a video model, we've been deeply engaged with our community and our customers in Premiere Pro ever since Firefly was announced last year. We were asking our customers and our users and our power users, what do you really want to see from generative AI? What's actually going to help facilitate your workflow, accelerate your creativity, and help you solve problems? Because as video editors, we commonly experience these brick wall moments, an unmovable, unshakable problem where you have to get a stakeholder on the phone, you have to call for someone else to help you, you could miss a deadline, and our generative AI strategy for video is really all about taking a sledgehammer and breaking down that brick wall, or at the very least, moving it back a mile or two. So we're happy to say that we're confident that a Firefly video model will be in market by end of year. It's taking us a little longer than we thought because honestly, transparently, video is hard. It's a lot harder than images to generate. And also, we're doing everything we can to make sure that our upcoming video model is commercially safe for usage, which means we have a much smaller range of assets to train on. You know, we're pulling assets from Adobe stock, we're licensing and paying creators directly for their work, and we're also sending teams to shoot video like all over the world in a variety of different circumstances to help train our model. So we'll have it in market by the end of the year, and with the Firefly video model comes Gen AI workflows in Premiere Pro. And you know, before we get into Gen AI, we've been an assistive AI domain expert for about 10 years now. When you consider speech-to-text, text-based editing, auto-reframe, auto-remix, enhanced speech, our new AI-powered audio workflows, which we'll get into in a minute. So there's this overlapping Venn diagram with assistive AI and generative AI, and we're happy to now get into this field. So there's 4 workflows that we announced this week at NAB. There's generative object removal and addition, generative extend, and generative B-roll. Object addition and removal is going to be very similar to generative fill in Photoshop. You're going to be able to mask certain areas or objects of your video clip, track them, and then you can ask Firefly to remove objects, people, whatever you need, and Firefly will generate new pixels to fill in the background. This is going to be really great for removing unwanted people or pedestrians from your background, redirect user focus, but also for filmmakers out there, no matter how expensive our shoots may be, we always get cards and get footage that are coming back to us in post, and there's a C-stand in the corner of the shot. Or there's a boom mic hanging over the top, right?
A Starbucks coffee.
A Starbucks cup of coffee in a popular medieval TV show, totally. Yeah, and when you run into that brick wall, it's just like, oh, I was in my creative flow, I was moving and grooving, and now I have to deal with this really, frustrating problem. Now I'm going to have to go into After Effects or do a roto, or maybe as an editor, I'm a craft editor, I don't have the technological, ability to just remove this really quickly. It might take me 45 minutes and then I'll miss a deadline. We want editors just to be able to take care of those problems as they come, right? Also, if you're making a video for marketing purposes, right, and you have someone wearing a logo or a brand that you don't have permission to use, you can wipe that out. Object addition is going to allow us to do something very similar, but now we're adding text prompts in the mix. So you could change my white shirt to a black shirt, we could add photorealistic paintings on the wall, add buildings in the background, whatever you can imagine, really. And my absolute favorite feature is generative extend, right? We've all been in those situations like many times before, more times than we're probably comfortable to admit, where you have a cut, you want to apply a transition, and there isn't enough video in the cut to facilitate the transition. You end up with that really awkward freeze frame, right? We've also had issues where you need to replace take 4 with take 5 because someone broke eye contact or something like that, right? And now there's this awkward little 1 to 2 second gap in your timeline. And everything else is exactly where it needs to be, and you've already used all your good footage. And before you know it, we're performing open heart surgery on our timelines, trying to make that gap work for us. With generative extend, you're going to be able to take a video clip and add photorealistic video frames that were never there to the end of your take. Just for a beat, just for a moment, maybe a few frames, maybe a couple seconds, to either cover that transition or facilitate that gap, or correct your pacing. That by far is probably the most popular feature that we announced this week. And then there's also generative B-roll, right? If you have characters, let's say a producer has an idea after the shoot has wrapped, it's going to be great for generating B-roll on top of that. It's going to be great for previs and a variety of use cases. But it's also important to talk about our new open approach to AI. You know, when you think about it, Premiere Pro has a rich history and ecosystem of third-party plugins. If folks out there in the world have, you know, augmented pieces of software that they want to bring into Premiere Pro, either a plugin or an effect or a transition, we openly facilitate that and welcome that, you know, because it empowers our customers to do their best work, right? And we see the same kind of strategy making a lot of sense across all of the Creative Cloud flagship applications, you know. We know that Firefly isn't the only model. We love Firefly, but Firefly for video is going to be incredible. But we also know that there's other models out there. And we actually see a future where there are hundreds, if not thousands, of Gen AI models in the field in just a couple of years from now, right? Some are going to excel at specific niche use cases for certain professionals. Others will cover a wide variety of use cases. Either way, our customers have made it clear to us in our deep conversations with them over the past year that they want choice. They want to be able to choose the AI model that works best with their footage, with their work, with a specific use case. So with that, we're also announcing this week that we are in early explorations with our friends at OpenAI, Runway, and Pika Labs to bring their Gen AI models directly into Premiere Pro. And again, this is a strategy we'll start seeing across all Creative Cloud apps, but the good news for us is that video goes first and Premiere goes first. Yeah, so we actually released this video sneak, like a 3-minute video, earlier this week, taking a look at what it might be like to bring these models and bring these workflows into Premiere Pro. And when you watch that video, it's important to know every AI generation in that video was not faked, was not doctored. Those are actual pixels generated by the upcoming Firefly video model, by OpenAI Sora, by Runway Gen 2, and by Pika Labs. It's really exciting, and I can't wait to see what customers do with this. But you can't talk about Gen AI without covering responsibility, safety, and transparency. And this is not a corporate byline. This is at the bedrock of the foundation of everything our AI strategy is built on. We intend for this Firefly video model to be commercially safe, right? And if customers have the ability to choose and bring in third-party models, it's going to be up to customers to figure out if a third-party model they choose to use is commercially safe or not for their specific use case, right? But either way, no matter what model you use, whether it's Firefly or a third party in Premiere Pro, we're going to embed content credentials deeply into the metadata of every video that you generate in Premiere Pro on generation and then again on export, right? Adobe is a co-founder of the Content Authenticity Initiative, which was founded in 2019. It's now a consortium of over 2,500 technology companies, from camera manufacturers to creative tech companies like Adobe to distribution platforms and other major tech companies, right? And what we're doing is we're all coming together to establish common sense, table stakes, and industry standards across safety and transparency in AI.
I can see why that's really important. Like, a producer doesn't want to put material that he doesn't have rights to and find out later that he has to pull it from his movie.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. And it's also how we're going to help combat against bad actors and deepfakes and whatnot. We see a future because there's really two sides to the coin. There's content creation and content distribution. We're on the content creation side at Adobe. And we've been a leader, leading the charge since 2019. We will continue to, and we do everything we can on our side to embed these content credentials into the videos, into images. Because right now in Firefly, you can't generate anything in the Firefly web app, Express, Photoshop, Illustrator, Substance 3D without content credentials. We're just bringing them to Premiere Pro for video, right? We will continue to focus on bleeding edge technologies and new ways as soon as we have the ability to, and as soon as new technology becomes available. We're going to continue deep investments and deep integration into more security, into more content credential workflows to support the initiatives of the CAI. That's deeply important to us, and we're working with, again, we're leading the charge on pushing the world's technology companies together to establish the industry standards from content acquisition all the way through to distribution.
That's a lot. Thank you very much, Jason.
Of course. Thank you, James. Yeah.